Sada, Alderman of Chicago's 35th Ward, and I want to welcome you to Logan Square. Before we begin our speaking program, please join me in giving a warm welcome to the Latin Music Project with the Puerto Rican Arts Alliance. applause again to the Puerto Rican Arts Alliance, one of the great cultural institutions here in the 35th Ward, located in the heart of Avondale. Thank you all so much. Next, please give a huge warm welcome to Ballet Folklórico de Chicago.
traes a mi negra, que la quiero ver aquí, con su rebozo de seda que le traje de Tepic. Cuando me traes a mi negra, que la quiero ver aquí, con su rebozo de seda que le traje de Tepic.
¡Viva México! ¡Viva! ¡Viva México! ¡Viva! ¡Viva Logan Square! The Ballet Folklórico de Chicago is a 501c3 nonprofit Mexican folkloric dance organization with approximately 400 students. They provide affordable cultural and artistic programming for our community, and we're so thankful that they could join us today. So thank you all to our amazing performers, and thank you to all of our small vendors who are here today. We have Tamales Express, Basket House, Cafe Tola, and Turn Lemons. I encourage you to visit their kiosks for some snacks and beverages throughout the program or before you leave. I also want to recognize some of our distinguished guests who have joined us this morning. We have Senator Graciela Guzman, we have Cook County Commissioner Jessica Vasquez, and our other guests who are here today will be speaking on the program. And if I miss you, I can't see you, please do not take it personally. So, good morning. I want to thank you and welcome you to the official ribbon cutting for the Milwaukee Avenue Streetscape Project. I am 35th Ward Alderman Anthony Joel Quesada, and as a lifelong resident of Logan Square, I am incredibly honored to celebrate this occasion with all of you today. This historic investment in Milwaukee Avenue, stretching from Belmont Avenue in Avondale to Logan Boulevard here in Logan Square, is a transformational investment in our neighborhoods that will benefit us today and the generations to come. This project created nearly an acre of accessible public space, including La Placita, right on former Kedzie Avenue, a Latin American-inspired plaza, and the Milwaukee Avenue Promenade, where we are standing today. It has improved safety for pedestrians, cyclists, and motorists, while also increasing access to public transportation and supporting our local businesses, many of whom are here today. Please give them a round of applause for all their great work. The vision for this project came to life through 9 years of community engagement and planning that began in 2017, followed by 2 years of construction that started in 2024. This project would not have been possible without the leadership of elected officials at the federal, state, county, and city levels, the advocacy of numerous community organizations, the patience and support of dozens of small businesses, and of course, the labor of countless workers who poured their blood, sweat, and tears into making this vision a reality. Please join me in giving a round of applause to the Chicago Department of Transportation, the project contractor Capital Cement, and ESG, the consultant resident engineer, for all of their hard work. This project also lays a strong foundation for future investments in Logan Square and here in the 35th Ward. The Department of Transportation is working on building a third pedestrian plaza across the street, creating even more accessible public space. The Chicago Transportation Agency will soon begin work on a new canopy for the Logan Square Blue Line station, including a new public art installation. A gazebo will be installed at La Placita. Bickerdike Redevelopment Corporation will build up to 96 units of 100% affordable housing around the corner at 2525 North Kedzie. And the City Lit Books will move into their new home at the Lucy Gonzalez Parsons building. Later this summer, the Comfort Station will undergo an exterior and interior renovation that will help preserve its historic architecture and support its amazing cultural programming. And also, very soon, we will announce exciting news regarding the long-awaited redevelopment of the Grace Furniture Building. Brothers, sisters, siblings, I am so excited because I know that together we will continue building a more accessible, affordable, and equitable future for everyone here in Logan Square, the 35th Ward, and the City of Chicago. Today, we will hear from several leaders whose partnership and leadership helped make this day possible. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mayor Brandon Johnson, who joined us at the groundbreaking in 2024.
Thank you so much, Alderman Quesada, for your leadership, and good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It is great to be here this morning as we celebrate yet another remarkable example of when we all come together to create full and holistic opportunities for the people of Chicago. I know I was here back in 2024 for the groundbreaking, as Alder Quesada indicated. So it's amazing to be here today for this ribbon cutting. I do want to thank a few people who have helped make today possible. Thank you to Commissioner William Cheeks and the entire CDOT team. Of course, to Alder Quesada, Chicago Park District CEO and former Alder of the 35th Ward, Carlos Ramirez Rosa, for advocating for this project, prime contractor Capital Cement, and all of the construction crews that have made this transformation possible. But I also want to thank our local, state, and county and our federal support, because without this collaboration, this project would not have come to fruition. I have to give a huge shout out to the entire Logan Square community. You all have advocated for and you have fought for historic redevelopment, and for that, I thank you. Listen, we all know that this has been something that our city has desired for some time, and one of our city's most complicated intersections. And that is why this redevelopment project is so important for residents and visitors to our city, but really for those who will visit this community. This new space includes public green spaces, improved pedestrian access, modernized traffic signals and streetlights, wider sidewalks, and more safety features for pedestrians and bike riders. With this expanded footprint, there's more room for programs, events, markets like the Logan Square's popular farmers market, and it creates more space for residents and visitors to gather and to connect with one another, creating ultimately a stronger community. This not only creates a safer Logan Square, but a more connected community. And we know that accessible public spaces and safer streets, they really go hand in hand. And more importantly, this project includes the creation of La Placita, a new plaza adjacent to the Logan Square Blue Line station that celebrates the Latin American heritage. I truly believe that every Chicagoan deserves to feel safe while walking to school, biking to work, taking public transportation, or just driving through their neighborhood. And I know that it is just as important to represent the diverse people, cultures, heritages, and people that make up the greatest city in the world. But projects like this do not happen in a vacuum. It happens because community leaders, community organizations, and residents, business owners shared their ideas, fought for vital improvements for safety, and stayed the course, engaging throughout this entire process. It is this community's involvement that leads to great investment. And we already are seeing these investments making a difference. Last year, the 35th Ward recorded 0 traffic fatalities. This extraordinary achievement is a testament to the work being done by community leaders, advocates, and transportation professionals who make our city streets safe. But our work is not done. We will continue to invest in safer streets, stronger infrastructure, and more public spaces like this one. This project is just one of several major investments underway in Logan Square, including the upcoming rehabilitation of the CTA Blue Line station. Today's ribbon cutting is truly a perfect example of what happens when we build better together. It means that not only are we making Chicago the safest, most affordable big city in America, but we're making it a city where people can grow old and watch their families grow and thrive. And so with that, thank you all so much. God bless you, and congratulations again to the Logan Square community. Now please continue to clap and help me welcome the Department of Transportation Commissioner, Mr. William Cheeks.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, Mayor Johnson, Alderman Caseta, and all of our community partners for being here today. My name is William Cheeks, Jr., and I'm the Commissioner of the Chicago Department of Transportation. I'm relatively new to the role of Commissioner, and one of the things that I've enjoyed most over the past 2 months is learning about the many projects that define our neighborhoods and the people who help make them happen. Few projects embody that better than the one we're celebrating today. Looking around this morning, it's clear how much this project means to Logan Square. At CDOT, we were honored to help bring this vision to life. Restructuring this corridor required us to balance many priorities at once: preserving the historic character of Logan Square, improving safety and accessibility, maintaining mobility through a heavily traveled corridor, and creating a space that better serves the community for generations to come. This project achieves those goals. Delivering a project of this magnitude takes an extraordinary team effort. It is the result of years of hard work by dedicated public servants, engineers, planners, and construction professionals. I'd like to recognize a few of the people who helped make this project possible. Managing Deputy Ann Zhang, Chief Highway Engineer David Miller, CDOT engineers Conan Chan and Sanjay Erdebatten, resident engineer Keith Maroney with AECOM, and our prime contractor Mike Farsi with Capital Cement. I also want to acknowledge our partners at the Illinois Department of Transportation and Cook County for their support. And to the residents, businesses, and organizations that call Logan Square home, thank you for your patience throughout this construction. We know this project was disruptive, especially along such a busy commercial corridor. We are grateful for your partnership and for sticking with us as we work to deliver these improvements. At CDOT, our responsibility is not just to maintain infrastructure, but build infrastructure that lasts. The improvements completed here will serve residents, businesses, and visitors for decades to come. And they reflect our commitment to investing in neighborhoods across Chicago. Thank you again, and congratulations to everyone who helped make this project a reality. Now, at this time, I'd like to introduce Chicago Park District CEO and former Alderman of the 35th Ward, Carlos Ramirez Rosa.
Good morning. It's so good to be back at a 35th Ward event, and it is especially meaningful to be back here for a ribbon cutting for a project that so many of us worked on for so many years. When I first became alderman in 2015, this was one of the big dreams that neighbors and community leaders brought forward: making Milwaukee Avenue, Kedzie, and the square safer, more welcoming, and more reflective of the everyday people who use it. And today, standing here, we can see what happens when a community stays engaged, builds consensus, and keeps pushing a vision forward. This project began with a simple but powerful idea. Streets are not just for cars. Streets are public spaces. They are places where people walk, bike, take transit, meet their neighbors, visit local businesses, and experience community life. That is especially important here in Logan Square in Avondale, where open space is precious and in great need. Not every neighborhood has room for a large new park. So when we have the chance to reclaim public land, to turn excess pavement into plazas, promenades, safer sidewalks, and places where people can gather, we have the responsibility to take it seriously. In some ways, this project also connects us back to the history of Logan Square itself. More than a century ago, Chicago's boulevard and park system was designed around the idea that public space, beauty, recreation, and mobility should be woven into the city. Unfortunately, over time, more and more of that space was dedicated to moving and storing cars.
Today, we are reclaiming a small but important part of that legacy and returning this space to the people. This project is also a reminder that when we prioritize the most vulnerable road users, pedestrians, seniors, children, people with disabilities, people walking to the train or crossing the street, we are making the street better and safer for everyone. Safer crossings, calmer traffic, better visibility, more comfortable sidewalks, and better connections do not just help pedestrians. They help cyclists, they help transit riders, they help drivers, they help businesses. They help the entire neighborhood function and grow. And I want to say something about the process, because projects like this do not happen by accident. Beginning in 2017, CDOT and the Ward Office worked with community members to study Milwaukee Avenue from Logan to Belmont. Across the formal public meetings and comment periods, there were more than 800 participation touch points, people showing up to help shape the final design via public meetings, open houses, comment sheets, and online feedback tools. That is what community planning should look like. It is not always fast. It is not always easy. And not everyone is going to agree on every single detail. But when the process is real, when people are heard, and when government is willing to keep coming back to the table, we can build the consensus and the coalition necessary to get big things done. I want to thank Mayor Brandon Johnson, the Chicago Department of Transportation, and all the planners, engineers, designers, construction workers, and public servants whose work made this project possible. I also want to take a moment to recognize 3 of my former colleagues whose work was absolutely critical to getting this project across the finish line. First, Alderman Anthony Quesada. Many people know Anthony as the current alderman, but long before he held this office, he worked on this project as a 35th Ward staffer. In that role, he attended and staffed community meetings, worked closely with CDOT, neighborhood organizations, local businesses, and residents, and helped navigate countless questions and concerns throughout the planning process. This project spans nearly a decade, and throughout much of that time, Anthony was there doing the unglamorous day-to-day work necessary to keep it moving forward. And after becoming alderman, he continued engaging the community, supporting businesses through construction, and saw the project through to completion. Without Anthony's years of hard work and commitment, we could not be standing here today celebrating this ribbon cutting. I also want to thank Commissioner Jessica Vasquez and Scott Jaburek. Jessica was my chief of staff when we began the community meetings for this project. And Scott was my chief of staff when we broke ground on this project. And he remains chief of staff for the 35th Ward today. Over the years, Scott spent countless hours working with residents, businesses, community organizations, city departments, and elected officials to keep this project moving forward. He answered questions, addressed concerns, solved problems, and frankly, did a tremendous amount of community hand-holding during a long and sometimes challenging process. Projects like this do not happen because of one elected official. They happen because community leaders and dedicated public servants show up every day after day, year after year, doing the work that often happens behind the scenes. Anthony, Jessica, and Scott are 2 of those people, and this project is better because of their service. Today, I serve as General Superintendent and CEO of the Chicago Park District. And in that role, I think every day about the importance of public space, who has it, who lacks it, and how we can make sure every community has places to gather, play, rest, celebrate, and belong. This project shows that public spaces can take many forms. It can be a park, it can be a boulevard, it can be a plaza, it can be a safer sidewalk, it can be a street designated and redesigned for people. And when we do that work well, we are not just improving infrastructure, we are strengthening community. Congratulations to Alderman Quesada, CDOT, the 35th Ward, and everyone who helped make this day possible. This is a beautiful investment in Logan Square, Avondale, and the future of people-centered public space in Chicago. Thank you. And now it is my great honor to welcome our Congresswoman, Delia Ramirez.
Good morning, buenos dias. Good morning. That sounded great, Mayor. It is so good to be back in district, celebrating what happens when community comes together. Some of you know that Logan Square is the most eastern part of my congressional district. My district, some would say, I think Alderman Quesada and our CEO, Carlos Ramirez Rosa, would say that the 3rd congressional district starts in Logan Square, while Senator Karina Villa would say the 3rd congressional district starts in West Chicago. Others would say it starts in Elgin. But the point is this: it is a beautiful district that is beautiful and thriving because of the diversity and the commitment and resolve of its community to come together to make things happen. And today, being here at the Milwaukee Avenue Streetscape and Redesign Project, we are celebrating how community comes together and makes community happen. We demonstrate what we can accomplish when there's truly intergovernmental collaboration, when every level of government works together with community organizations, with local leaders, and residents to meet the needs of our community, of our comunidad. I'm proud to stand here with Mayor Johnson, with Alderman Quesada, the Chicago Park CEO, Carlos Ramirez Rosa, CIDA, Logan Square Preservation, Palenque, Logan Square Neighborhood Association, and the Logan Square Chamber of Commerce to proudly say we are in fact delivering for our residents of Logan Square and the entire city of Chicago. You see, over $21 million in federal funding from the Surface Transportation Program, STP, were awarded towards this project that we're cutting ribbon today. This right here, what you see, is what our federal tax dollars should be funding. Am I right? Yes. Federal funding that is driven by community, that meets the needs of our community and delivers for our community. The $21 million in federal funding is working in our community to increase safe space for pedestrians, to protect off-street bicycle paths around the square, and to reduce motor vehicle speeds. And let me tell you, in a time when the federal administration is attacking our cities and states, we remind them that we refuse to bend the knee to authoritarians. But more importantly, we are not just not bending the knee, we are doing the hard work of building coalition. We're equally working to imagine what happens when we in fact come together, that we can unite and we will not be divided. And on this beautiful Monday morning, you are the testament of what happens when in fact we see the power of collective solidarity. And we know the solidarity is not easy, but it is in fact what will protect this beautiful city and make it one of the most affordable, as the mayor said, one of the most beautiful, and yes, one of the most diverse cities in the world. And so let me wrap up in saying this to you. Tomorrow at 8 a.m., I get back on that flight I do every morning, every week to head to DC. And I am going to ensure that I take the faces of every one of you. El Baile Folclórico, the Puerto Rican Arts Alliance, and every single neighbor and every single elected official that is here today. Because I know what happens when community comes together. I know what happens when we choose to use our taxpayer dollars to do good for others. And I want to thank you for the investments that you all make in inspiring those of us in really difficult positions to keep fighting for what we know is right. A beautiful world where we can, in fact, celebrate equity, inclusion, and diversity. So thank you all for the work that you do to make transformative investment possible. And we don't do that alone, as we just said. So help me welcome my friend, Andrew Schneider from the Logan Square Preservation, the president of Logan Square Preservation, Andrew Schneider.
Good morning. Good morning. I want to say I'm proud to be standing up here in front of you with these folks, these fine people behind me. But I'm also humbled to see so many faces out there that really are the ones that made all of this possible. It's amazing to see and know so many of you and know the roles that you played. This space, Logan Square, predates our community, actually. It was first imagined in 1869. It was developed as part of a series of landscaped medians by the West Chicago Park Commission under a vision, following a vision by William LeBaron Jenney, the visionary father of the skyscraper. In 1895, the arrival of the Metropolitan Elevated changed the character of the immediate area from residential to commercial, like it is today, and it drove traffic with it. So in 1927, a new design was unveiled That one was close to the design that many of us loved, or loved to hate, or hated, as it were. The space changed again in 1970 when the L extended from its original terminus here. The city took a heavy hand with demolition, and the project, in ensuing decades, more and more space was given over to pavement for cars. Beginning with the administration of Harold Washington, neighbors began to advocate for more green and pedestrian space here, in a community that even today remains among the most park poor in our city. This work produced real progress, and as the alderman told us, about 9 years ago, a formal planning process began thanks to a grant from Cook County that allowed us to reopen the federal dollars that the congressperson referenced. Those dollars and that plan that we were able to change originally involved turning this beautiful promenade where we all are standing now and restoring it into a 4-lane highway. And that was going to be it. Today, instead, we celebrate the culmination of a locally led vision, which has increased green and pedestrian space already. The historic Milwaukee Avenue, where we're sitting, is still honored. We can still sense the shadow of that space. Our Centennial Monument has pride of place. And the legacy of Jens Jensen, the great landscape architect, is visible in our beautiful cattail streetlights, which used to line our boulevard and are restored here. But this also had to be about more. This project had to be about more than adding green space. It was also about honoring a complete history and planning for our future. It has been a process that has also led from equity and community-driven development. A new space, which everyone up here has referenced, La Placita, helps honor the full story of all of the immigrant communities that have built and made Logan Square their home. And we have our new plaza that is just beginning construction to the south. Together, that's going to complete our public spaces here under this vision the community began. But this wasn't just about green and pedestrian space, and it wouldn't have been a complete plan without the construction of all affordable development, Lucy Gonzalez Parsons, which proudly stands above La Placita. We anticipate, as the alderman referenced, another affordable housing, all affordable housing development, the Metropolitan Elevated, which is going to be just a couple steps away from here on Kedzie. This has been about creating space for people of all backgrounds to live, breathe, and enjoy one of our great neighborhood public spaces. It'd be difficult, truly difficult, to name all the individuals standing out there and up here that are responsible for making this happen, the landscape architects and the designers. And likewise, it wouldn't have been possible without the advocacy of neighbors, our partners at the Chamber and Palenque LSNA, and the support of successive aldermanic and mayoral administrations, former Alderman Carlos Ramirez Rosa, Alderman Anthony Quezada, our Mayor Brandon Johnson. Thank you, all of you, for your support, your stewardship, and your partnership with us for the future. And I am now proud to introduce our partner and my friend, Pastor Juan Pablo Herrera from Palenque LSNA.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, look, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I grew up here as a half Mexican, half Puerto Rican, all queer teenager. I went to Woolworth. I went to the Gap. I watched E.T. at the theater down the street. I love this neighborhood, and it's a joy for me to be here this morning. It's meaningful for me, especially because these streets help shape me. I rode this train. I visited the many stores. I ate pierogies at the Red Apple. All of these things were what it meant for me to be part of a neighborhood where people looked out for each other. And Logan Square is not just a place on a map for me, it is our home. And for generations, Logan Square has been a home for thousands of Latinx families who helped build the culture, the spirit, and the identity of this community. Puerto Rican, Mexican, Guatemalan, Venezuelan, all Central American, South Americans. They brought their traditions here. They brought their food here. We brought our music. We brought our faith. And we brought our dreams to these streets, into the neighborhoods and neighbors, into family. And so today, I'm going to celebrate La Placita. We're celebrating more than just a physical space. We're celebrating a place that means a lot to people in our Latin American heritage. In cities and in towns and in countries, the plaza was always the heart of the community life. It's where people gathered after church. It's where children were playing while their grandparents and abuelos, abuelas were telling stories. We call it chisme sometimes. And it's where celebrations happen. The plaza reminds us that we're never meant to live life alone. Plazas are democratic spaces. They belong to everyone. You don't need money to enter a plaza. You don't need an invitation to enter a plaza. You don't need to prove to anyone that you belong. Your presence is enough. And that's why spaces like this matter too much for us. In a city where so many people might feel isolated, where neighborhoods continue to change, and where too many people wonder if there's still a space for them, this placita sends a different message. It says you belong here. It says this neighborhood belongs to all of us. It says our diversity is not something to tolerate, it's something to celebrate. That's right. And so as Logan Square continues to evolve, it's important that we remember the stories that brought us to this place. Places that help ensure that our history in this neighborhood is not forgotten. They remind us that the people who came before us, the families, the organizers, the artists, the workers, the business owners, and community leaders, they left an imprint on this community and helped to shape it today. And so, we want a future here in this community where children from every background can see themselves reflected in the spaces around them. A future where culture is shared, where relationships are formed, and where community continues to grow. And so when people walk through this space years from now, I hope they feel what the best plazas have always helped people feel: connection. I hope they hear laughter. I hope they experience friendship. I hope they encounter cultures different from their own. And most of all, I hope they know that this neighborhood has a place for them, because that's what a plaza does. It creates room for community. It creates room for memory. It creates room for hope. So today, this space, I hope it becomes a place that can flourish. May it reflect the beauty of our diverse community, and may everyone who passed through here know that they are welcome. Thank you. And now, I'd like to introduce Nilda Esparza, who is from the Logan Square Chamber of Commerce.
Buenos dias, welcome to Logan Square. I want to start by thanking our small business community that since pandemic times have taught us how resilient, how creative, and how united they are. I want to give a special thanks to Eleanor from Fourth Studio and Jan from Logan Square Pilates. These ladies kept us on our toes. They did not just activate for their small business, they activated for every small business affected by this project. So thank you, ladies. We also want to thank our farmers market vendors. Please enjoy. They're here for us today like they've been with us for the last 6 years. Right through pandemic, they too have learned that they've had to be nimble and flexible, but most importantly, patient. And over the last 7 weeks, we have been able to execute what this community envisioned for this space. We've welcomed over 80,000 visitors, and we have 18 weeks remaining in the season. We understand that this space isn't just for us. Next week, we're getting out of the way, and we're on our way to Humboldt Park with this farmers market, thanks to Alder Fuentes that understands the continuity of service for this city, not just our respective communities. We're making space for the Arts Fest. Gary, I can guarantee you that your fest is already a success. This new design has allowed this chamber to innovate further and implement our After Hours initiative, which is going to allow us to not just take care of these spaces during the day, but at night as well. We promised the team, Dan, David, Keith, that we were going to activate, and we are ready. Our Logan by Night series will bring Mercaditos, our collective of Mexicanas artesanas, to this location on Saturday evenings through October, once a month. Battle for the Eagle is going to shift from a day, hopefully, to a night market as well. We've got a senior singles event planned for this, because we do plan for our seniors in this community. We have Sin Mercado coming up in August. They too will operate by night. And election season is coming. We want to hold some public debates. We know Alderman Quesada's ready. Y para nuestra comunidad, esta Cámara de Comercio se está preparando para si quieren celebrar un cumpleaños, una boda, una quinceañera al aire libre, estos espacios son muy suyos, porque colegas como Palenque LSNA y los concejales que se han postulado en esta comunidad, como Carlos Ramírez Rosa y actualmente Alderman Quesada, han trabajado tan duro para que este grano de arena que les pertenece se mantenga, pase lo que pase o esté como esté el clima político y económico. Son muy suyos. Hay que cuidarlos, hay que usarlos y hay que mantenerlos. And to the mayor and the city, we want these investments to keep coming because this has proven that when you do not get into the business of displacing people and you embrace diversity and you give access, true economic development flourishes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And now we will begin our ribbon cutting. So I think we're going to have to move this stage. And then we're also going to have a musical performance by Rock Minds shortly right after. So please stick with us. I'll also ask that our Senator Graciela Guzman, Commissioner Jessica Vasquez, Christian Diaz, if you can please join us up at the stage.